Welcome, everybody, to Secret Sauce, the show where we hear real-time insights from industry leaders. I'm Karly.iacono. Today, I am so happy to be joined by Justin Stein, the Executive Vice President of Leasing at Tanger Outlets. Justin, good morning. So happy you could join us. How are you today?
Good morning, Karly. It's great to be on your show, and thank you for being such an amazing advocate and educator for the real estate industry.
Oh, thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Let's jump right in. We have so much good information to cover today. Why don't you tell us a bit about Tanger, although I'm sure everyone's familiar, and your role there?
Sure. Well, Tanger is a 42-year-old company. 30 years we've been traded on the New York Stock Exchange. In fact, just last month, we celebrated that 30 years by ringing the closing bell, and what a moment that was for the entire organization. But at Tanger, we own, we develop, we lease, and we manage 36, soon to be 37 open air shopping centers in the United States and Canada. And my background, I've been in real estate for a little over 20 years. Spent about 8.5 years on the brokerage side of the business, primarily in New Jersey, covering retail. And then I moved on and I spent about 10 years at Simon Property Group, where I handled big banks of business, restructurings, and bankruptcies. And then in October of 2021, I made the transition over to Tanger, had the opportunity to take over leasing as the Executive Vice President of Leasing. And said a different way, I'm the quarterback of this amazing leasing team here at Tanger, and I love coming to work each and every day.
Wow, that is a great position to be in. And I think probably every employer wishes they had someone who felt that strongly about the organization. So very nice to hear. So talk to me about what the last few years have brought in terms of leasing. We had potential recession, we have inflation. How do you feel about the overall health of retail and the leasing environment?
Well, I can start with the impacts of like inflation or recessions. You know, as our amazing chairman, Steve Tanger, says, in good times, people want a bargain, and in challenging economic times, people need a bargain. And it's so true, because whether you believe we're headed into a recession, we're in a recession, or we're coming out of a recession, this is what our channel is designed for, right? We provide tremendous value for our shoppers, the shoppers who want the best brands in the world at the best possible price. We like to say that we operate at the intersection of brand and value. And if you think about our shopper is so brand conscious, right? Our shopper doesn't come to one of our centers and say, I want a pair of black leggings. They come to our centers and they say, I want a pair of Lulus. They don't come to say, I want a pair of sneakers. They want Nike, Adidas, Puma, Under Armour, right? So our shopper is very brand conscious, and we think that we deliver some of the best brands at the best value. And as far as the leasing environment in the outlet channel is extremely strong. I mean, just like you did, and probably all of your listeners and watchers, we just came back from ICSC last month. We had about 135 meetings over 2.5 days. And we came out and we debriefed after we came back as a leasing team. And I have about 2.5 to 3 pages of tenants that have open to buys between the end of 2023, 24, and some are even looking at 25. Brands like Hey Dude, Luxottica, Salt Life, Ulta, Casper, Sephora's looking for business in the outlet channel, Ariat, Viore, Barnes & Noble, Pottery Barn, Scotch & Soda. So we have multiple brands bidding on the same spaces at a lot of our centers. And so we're really optimistic about the leasing environment going forward.
Two things I want to follow up there that I think are really interesting. The distinction between discount and value. I feel like those words are maybe used interchangeably, but I think you made a really clear distinction that your shoppers are not there looking just for discounts. They're looking for value for high-end or core brands that they're excited about, which is so very different than discount shopping that we talk about so frequently in other channels. So very important distinction. And I'm glad you brought that up, that you're really targeting a different type of consumer and a different experience than the traditional discount channel.
That's right.
And then the second thing that you were talking about with the tenant demand, that's incredible. Love to hear all of these new uses and these new brands, maybe not new, but expanding. How is the vacancy in your centers overall? It sounds like you have competition for space and everything is just humming along. Do you have data on how the vacancy is compared to, 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yeah, we're approaching our occupancy is approaching our pre-COVID levels. We have a very disciplined approach in leasing, and we're in the revenue business, right? So we're at the end of the day, we're not just going to give away our space. We believe in our real estate, and over the last couple of years, we've done some great brands. We've added some great brands to our portfolio, like some of the ones that I mentioned to you. And again, there seems to be a lot of demand and new brands and new categories entering our channel, and we're really excited about what the future has.
So that kind of segues into what we wanted to touch on next, which is how consumer shopping behavior is evolving and what Tanger is doing to kind of stay connected to changing shopping patterns. Is it a difference in type of stores? Is it the store experience? What are you seeing the big shifts be in the last 3 years?
The answer is yes, right? The key thing is that we're listening to our customers. Our customers want more portfolio diversification. They want a reason to stay and shop longer, and we feel like we're delivering that in a really big way. I mean, you go back to pre-COVID. Our dependency on apparel and footwear pre-COVID was about 80% of our portfolio. We focused on portfolio diversification, and just 3 short years later, our dependency on footwear and apparel has dropped to about 75%. We've gotten into the business of food and beverage, right? We've added Shake Shack and Tailgate and Texas Roadhouse and Cava, who recently went public. Mm-hmm. We're focusing on the entertainment side of the business and adding those type of concepts to our portfolio. We announced that we've done deals with Dave & Buster's in Atlantic City and Savannah, Georgia. We've gotten into home furnishings in a really big way. Deals with Crate & Barrel, Pottery Barn, Design Within Reach, Casper, Purple, RH, Serena and Lily. And just yesterday, we opened up the first Wayfair outlet ever in the country in Northwest Texas. Also, digitally native brands. These digitally native brands have been making a real push into our channel. We did the first Somersault, the bathing suit company. We did the first Somersault deal in Myrtle Beach, and now they're doing multiple deals with us around our portfolio. We've done deals with Allbirds, Mack Weldon, Chubbies, Roller Rabbit, and others. And the last category that we've really been diversifying into and that I'm really excited about is the cosmetics business. And we did our first Ulta deal in Rehoboth Beach, and we're working on a few more deals throughout our portfolio that's going to open up in 23 and 24. So portfolio diversification is extremely important to us, and we feel like we're delivering in a big way.
And those are really all synergistic examples, right? So you can go and do the makeup, the clothing, and then add in the entertainment and the food. It's not becoming a one destination. I'm just going to buy this thing. It sounds like you're really creating a more encompassing experience, which I'm sure will translate to higher sales per visit. So very smart, very smart. Are you seeing the growth overall at Tanger? I mean, it sounds like you have incredible tenant demand. How are you meeting that? Are you expanding existing centers? Are you looking to acquire more? What's the overall strategy and growth in the market?
That's a good question. You can grow through strategic partnerships, ground up development, or acquisitions. And without discussing our playbook, I'll say all options are on the table. You take a look at just last year. We got involved in Palm Beach Outlets. It's now branded Tanger Palm Beach. Our partner there is Clarion, and we've had great success at the rebranded Tanger Outlets Palm Beach. We've had strong leasing volume. We've executed over 25,000 square feet of new leases to that center in just the 6 months we've been involved, and that doesn't even include all the renewals that we've done. So that was a strategic partnership that we got involved with, and I think there'll be more of those going forward. The other thing we did, we broke ground last year on a new project in the Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, that's going to be opening up this fall. It's about 12 miles south of downtown Nashville. We're over 90% committed. We started delivering to tenants last week. We're really excited about Nashville, And we're probably the first REIT to break ground on a project of this size post-COVID. So there's a lot of interest and a lot of demand in that project. I'll say the project in Nashville, it's only 290,000 square feet. And we talked about portfolio diversification. We have over 20,000 square feet of food and beverage joining us there. That doesn't exist in the outlet channel. And then the way we broke up the spaces and leased the project, we have about 60 spaces, individual spaces, 60 tenants joining us in Nashville that make up the 290,000 square feet. 14 of the 60 rooms are going to be new brands to the Tanger family. They don't exist in any other center anywhere in the country. So it tells you about the demand that Nashville brought for us, okay, and the new brands that are going to be joining us in Nashville. We're really excited about it.
Sounds like an amazing project. Might just have to go down and do a site tour if I have to.
You know what? Come for the grand opening. It's going to be the end of October of this year. Everyone's
I'm in. That sounds great. I want to touch on different markets a little bit further, but before I do, you mentioned tenants that were unique to that center. Are you finding a lot of the new tenant demand is regional or local tenants that have a specific flair or flavor for that market, or are most of your tenants the national names that we know? How does that break down?
So it's a mix, right? It was really important to us that we brought the local flavor into the project, right? We went with a local coffee operator that has a handful of locations throughout the market. We went with the best hot chicken operator in the market, because we all know Nashville is known for their hot chicken. And then there's some new brands, some new national brands that don't exist in our portfolio today that joined us because of the growing market and demand. So it was definitely a mix of national, regional, and local tenants. And we're really excited to open this project up later this year.
Congratulations in advance. Sounds like will be a fantastic shopping experience.
Thank you.
Let's touch on other markets for a second. So you mentioned partnerships, ground up development when you can, when it makes sense and pencils. Are there specific markets that you're not in that you're excited about, or maybe regions if you can't talk about specific areas? Are you going more tertiary? What's your overall view on markets?
Again, all options are on the table for us. We have 2 centers up in Canada, so there could be opportunities up in that market. We're headquartered in Greensboro, North Carolina, so we have a lot of our centers in the southeast, from Hilton Head and Charleston and Savannah and Myrtle Beach. We have 1 asset out in Arizona, just west of Phoenix, near the football stadium, and we have a few assets down in Texas and the Northeast. So, we're looking at all areas of the country. We like the West Coast, we like the Midwest, and we certainly like the South. And so I think, as we look to grow our business, again, whether it's through ground up development, strategic partnerships, or whatnot, we'll look at any appropriate location in the country.
Sounds good. All right. The next question is a softball.
Okay.
What differentiates Tanger from your competition? Tell me why you're great. Tell me why someone would want to partner with you, or what makes your shopping experience unique. Take it whichever way you want.
Sure, Karly. So first and foremost, our people. We have 325 of what I feel are the best people in the business, in all areas of our business, from leasing to operations to marketing to tenant coordination and legal. Our culture is second to none. We really empower our employees in our centers to be part of the communities that we serve, and we are known for the culture that we have here at Tanger. We're always looking to evolve, whether it's with a tenant mix, our loyalty program, growth, et cetera. Like, we're always looking to evolve as an organization, and it's definitely a big way that we differentiate ourselves from others. Our flexibility with deal making, our ability to say yes to tenants, our assets are in desirable locations. We get comments all the time, whether it's from our consumers, our shoppers, or our retailers, about the cleanliness of our open air centers. I mean, they are spotless. And tenants really enjoy working with our legal and tenant coordination teams. And so you put all of that in a blender, and those are all ways of how we feel we differentiate ourselves, but it's also why we're successful.
Sounds good. Total package.
Right.
Let's go back to something that's been really a hot topic the last few years, which is shorter term leases, temp leases, pop-ups. I feel like right after COVID, that was all anybody was talking about. Let's give retailers flexibility. And that's what everyone wanted because there was so much instability in that time. Obviously, we're, thank goodness, a few years beyond that. What's your view today on pop-ups or temporary leases? Do you think these are a long-term opportunity or just a short-term fix for a vacancy?
Sure. So when it comes to temp leasing, we embrace it. It's an important part of our business. It's an important part of our strategy. And we have a lot of people focusing on it. We've empowered our center managers to lease throughout our 36, soon to be 37 centers. And we have an amazing national temp leasing team that focuses on it as well. So again, a lot of people focusing on our temp leasing. And I like to say, Karly, is that our shopper doesn't know the difference between a temporary tenant and a permanent tenant, but they certainly know the difference between a closed store and an open store. And you have to remember, when we do these temp deals, there's no landlord capital, and we have the right to recapture on 30 days notice. So let me give you an example. Let's take a random center in Fort Worth, Texas. Let's assume I had a tenant that expired 1/31/23, and I have Adidas taking the space on 8/1 of 23 because they couldn't take it until later in the year. Well, I'd rather have a temp tenant occupy that space for those 7 months, cash flow, lights on, and then when Adidas comes in and takes that space, we'll move them to another vacancy if there's one in the center. And it's a win-win for everybody. So we really embrace our temp leasing. It's an important part of our strategy, and it brings the local community into our centers, which is very important to us as well.
How are you creating a positive shopping experience for the temp leases if you're not putting TI in? And I'm sure the tenants aren't really wanting to invest much in the space. Do you have a kind of standard layout and standard fixtures that make it feel cohesive with the rest of the center? How are you handling the cost of it?
Yeah, if you take a look at our temp tenants throughout our portfolio, they do a really good job of their build out because they take a lot of pride in their stores, right? Just because they're not a national tenant doesn't mean they don't take pride. So, a lot of people have come to me, and like I said it earlier, when they shop in our centers and they go into a store, they're like, that store was beautiful, right? It's because these local operators take such pride in their build outs, and they want to drive sales, and they want that register ringing all the time. And so if they feel like they build something out, even though they may have to move in 30, 60, or 90 days, or sometimes they stay there for 6, 8, or 10 months, their build outs are spectacular. And that's something that we take a lot of pride in, and I know the tenants do as well.
Sounds like a great partnership between the temp tenant and not just a quick fix. Really sounds like a good fit for both of you. Interesting. Now, on the other side of the tenant spectrum, how do you feel about full price retailers? Tanger is, of course, the outlet specialist, #1 brand. What about full price retailers? Have you seen interest? Would you consider putting them in a center? How do you view that from a diversification standpoint?
Yeah, so we have that today, and it represents how we're evolving and the evolution of the outlet space. You take a look at tenants like Ulta or Victoria's Secret or Somersault or Mack Weldon or H&M, right? Those are typically the same product that you'll find in a full price channel, but it's important that they partner with us on the commercial side, the marketing side, and provide value to our consumers. Otherwise, our shoppers are going to be disappointed. So what they do is they partner with our marketing team and our loyalty program, and they provide additional value to our shoppers, which satisfies the need of value.
And that might look like a coupon or a discount or promotion of some sort, but not a different product mix. Am I hearing you right?
We're going digital now. So it's like we're building this loyalty program. It's like if you fly United and you work your status up to Premier 1K, right? Everyone loves their status, right? So we're building a loyalty program. So the more you spend, the higher tier you get to earn, and then the better value you get back. So those retailers that I mentioned partner with us on that side of the business, creating the value for our consumer.
Goes back to the first thing you said, value shopping, not discount shopping, although it may include discounts, but that's not all it is.
That's right.
So another good example of that. What's one of the biggest challenges you're facing in the business right now, and how are you overcoming it? Sounds like it's a rosy time for Tanger, but there's got to be some challenge. So what are you facing that's a little more difficult?
Yeah, I'd say, one of the bigger challenges that we face today is the education to the investment community about who we are, what value we provide, how we go about our business in a unique way. Because you have to remember, we don't have a pure competitor in our channel. No one does what we do. We're the only pure play open air publicly traded outlet developer in the country. And so what we've been doing, in fact, I just got back last night from Nantucket from the Jefferies Consumer Conference. And we're there, and my CEO, Stephen Yalof, our CFO, Michael Billerman, and myself, we've been traveling the country, and we've been bringing investors to our centers. We're meeting with investors. We're educating them on who we are, what we do. We want them to touch and feel our center. And we feel that they're better understanding us now because we're doing it. I mean, we've done property tours in Palm Beach and Deer Park out in Long Island and Fort Worth. And we're going to continue to do it because it's absolutely making a difference, because all these investors are starting to understand better about who we are and the value we provide.
Exposure to the brand.
That's right.
Got it. Seems like an easy one to overcome, and it sounds like you're well on the track to doing so. Very nice. Let's end on kind of a fun fluff, not really fluff note. What is one of your favorite tenants that maybe has a creative concept, new idea, something that you just think is, and if you say pickleball, I'm going to call, the standard answer out on you. So you can't say pickleball because that's what everyone's saying right now. But what is a new concept or new tenant that you're really, really excited about?
Well, I am a pretty competitive pickleball player, but I wasn't going to say that. I love all of our children the same, right? So I don't want to call out a specific tenant, but I'll give you a few categories that I'm very excited about, and some I've already talked about. But the cosmetics category is something I'm really excited about growth in our channel. I mentioned Ulta. There are others out there that I feel like will penetrate our channel. So the cosmetics business is something that I see expanding in our channel over the next several years, and the digitally native brands. I mean, we specifically have a portfolio that lends itself very well to those brands. The open air shopping destinations, whether it's Myrtle Beach or Westgate, Arizona, or out in Long Island in Deer Park. You take a look at Savannah, Georgia, or Palm Beach. These are markets where a lot of these digitally native brands like to be. And we feel like we're putting an amazing collection together in specific centers around the country. And so I think that more digitally native brands are going to enter our portfolio over the next couple of years.
Well, I don't know about everyone else listening, but I, for one, am very excited to get back to a Tanger Center and see all of these changes and new brands, new concepts, and just the energy that it's clear you're creating around your holdings, because it really sounds like a fantastic tenant mix and a wonderful shopping experience. So great job evolving through all the changes of the last few years.
Listen, we'd love to have you, and you can sign up for our loyalty program when you arrive.
Okay, I'll be sure to. Wouldn't want to miss it. Justin, this was fantastic information. I'm so happy you could join us and share sort of the path forward for Tanger, which is incredibly bright, strong company that continues to excel. So we're thrilled we could have you, and thank you for sharing all of your knowledge and insight with our listeners today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
To everyone listening, that was Secret Sauce. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you again very soon. Thanks again, Justin. Take care.
Bye-bye.